Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to share this next client success story of Virtuance. We are talking to Todd Fahlman of Realty One Group Orca, which is in Washington. So we're learning today how he is leveling up his business by using Virtuance services. So can't wait to get into it. I hope you guys enjoy it. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, well, with that, let's go ahead and just get started, Todd. If you could just tell me briefly about your journey in real estate, how you got started to where you are now, and what that journey has really been like for you.
Todd Fahlman, Realty One Group, broker, owner, designated broker, coat hanger upper. I originally started November 4th, 1996, and I began my real estate career. And then as it evolved, became more of a listing broker. That is my preference and representation. I do obviously provide both buyer and seller representation. And through the course of my career, I've grown to be a rainmaker with another firm that I had a 5-person team, and my wife joined the team. And then a little less than 5 years ago, I opened up Realty One Group Orca. And it's been an amazing journey. We now have 3 real estate firms, and I've opened up a mortgage company as well. And I've gone through a lot of changes and seen a lot of changes in the industry since 1996, from fax machines, from pagers to cell phones. One thing that has never changed is delivering an experience. The discussion of great customer service is boring. People expect great customer service. That should be already baked in the cake. What real estate brokers and what consumers of real estate services want is an experience, and being able to provide that on a customer face-to-face basis, and then as a broker owner to the real estate brokers at my firm, really provides me what I am in this business for, and that is to serve people and to create these types of experiences. Experiences is what keep people coming back, because you've never had somebody say, you got to use Todd because he has great customer service. No, you got to use Todd because it's a great experience. And so it's very important that I'm able to create that. As a result, getting there was years of professional coaching. I hired coaches. I believe we all need coaches, people that can do things and help us along the way, create that experience. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if you're going to like this. I used to do my own photography. I did. Okay. And I was so prideful that I could get the right angles. And he was like, okay, Todd, you got to make a choice. What's my choice? He goes, are you going to get paid to be a photographer, or are you getting paid to be a real estate broker? Make your choice about what profession you want to be in, and then pursue that. Because if you want to do professional real estate photography, get out of real estate.
Wow, those are some powerful words. I'm going to use that next time I talk to any real estate professional about why they should be using photography. That is such an excellent point of it's not your job to do that. Plus, they're already doing 5,000 different things. They're already balancing 5,000 different hats. So the last
It's
thing you
because
should
of
really be focusing on is the real estate photography. Hand that over to a professional.
it was pride that was holding me back. And when I let go of that, at first it was scary. I got to tell you, it's like mom and dad after they take off the training wheels on your bike and you still think they're holding the back seat, but they're not. And you're going, that was like me. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm free from this. And the results are pretty good. So it was able for me to stay in income producing activities versus income servicing activities. Photography for real estate is income servicing. It's not income producing. And so it just depends upon what it is you want to do. I suppose you could also clean houses too for your clients. If you want to be a house cleaner or you want to be a realtor.
You guys are here for real estate. So on the topic of doing, you mentioned you got involved in dabbling in your own photography for a little bit. What were some maybe problems or challenges you had faced when you were handling that versus tapping into like Virtuance for professional real estate photography?
The timing, being able to make myself available to hit that photo shoot, that was my challenge, is just finding the time during my day when I was super busy in order to do that. Take 30 minutes to drive out there, 30 minutes to drive back to my office. That's an hour. And then I was generally there for 45 minutes. So that's, almost 2 hours out of my day that I am servicing my income and not producing an income.
Yeah, absolutely. You said you mentioned you were doing like about 2 hours in your time and effort and trying to handle this photography and trying to balance it back and forth with all of your other real estate needs. So how would you say has Virtuance come in and just really helped you overcome that challenge of timing and really kind of using your time to the best of your abilities? How has Virtuance helped you overcome some of those challenges?
The scheduling process is fairly easy to coordinate the photography and the photo shoot, whereas I was spending, approximately 2 or 3 hours, doing my own photography and then coming back and editing them as well. Can't leave that out. And fixing them and, cropping and doing all that stuff to get it ready. So there's probably 2 or 3 hours versus less than 10 to 15 minutes in scheduling and maybe having to reschedule and setting the whole thing up and getting my clients prepared. So that's money, literally time back into my schedule that I can be doing more important things.
Absolutely. And I'm sure, especially as a brokerage owner, you've already got a lot of things that are already on your schedule. So it's nice to hear that Virtuance can come help clean up that time for you so that you can best utilize your time where it needs to be. On that note of Virtuance specifically for your team as a brokerage, have you noticed any improvements in how quickly homes are selling or the price point homes are selling just based on the marketing that you've been using through Virtuance?
Virtuance has really been an incredible aid to get some of those hard to sell properties off the market, independent, and into a close status. Additionally, why I recommend Virtuance is oftentimes homes will take a little bit longer to sell. And in that event, there's a secondary audience. There's the audience of buyers that will be clicking in and driving around, and we want to get them to that tour. So the secondary audience is the neighbors. And so if we can showcase our brilliant marketing, and Virtuance can assist us in doing that, we have a greater opportunity to pick up business inside that neighborhood by those nosy neighbors checking out, wow, if we go to sell, we would like to have something like that.
Yeah.
Versus the other property around the corner that doesn't have this. If I'm thinking about selling and I am a owner in that neighborhood, and there's one property that has Virtuance, fine, okay, and there's another property that doesn't offer the Virtuance, that's the other people, I have a much better chance of retaining that client because of Virtuance.
That's awesome feedback. I love hearing that. That's a great point to bring up, is that, yeah, you're selling to those buyers, but there is that whole neighborhood element to it. On your marketing specifically, when you use Virtuance, what are some of your favorite like features or enhancements that Virtuance offers that you use for your listing marketing?
The tours are the primary one. And we have that link that will go to the tour. And then we're able to share that link to the tour with the owner. And the owner's like, oh my gosh, that's my house. I'm like, yeah, you want to buy it back now?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I love hearing what like the actual client is saying when they see how
Yes.
is marketed, because it really is like looking at it from such a different lens. And I
And
know
they keep the tour. They keep that.
yeah, I've heard so many real estate professionals out there being like, yeah, my client wanted copies of the photos or of the tours because of how it was captured, of how their home was captured. They just love it so much. And it is nice to hear. It's like, yeah, you're creating all of those marketing materials for potential buyers, but how awesome is it that you also have all of these great like pieces of art to really showcase to that seller as well, and to have them take away with them, which also kind of goes back to your original point of creating that full experience for that person, right? How are you marketing their home that they've created all of those memories in, so that they're selling it to someone who can build out new memories? So I love that. That's amazing.
Here is another thought. What if I was able to take that tour and send it back to the seller on their 1 year home selling anniversary?
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
As another touch in 1 year as a thank you, but just another reminder to send back that tour in the 12-month or 1 year home selling anniversary.
Well, and again, that goes all back to that experience. And I mean, real estate's a relationship-based business. And just because you finish a transaction with your seller or even a transaction with your buyer, it doesn't mean that you just cut off all communication after that. All of those touch points from there on out are so incredibly important, because again, you want to be top of mind when they decide to move again or decide to list their house again. You want them to choose you again. So yeah, I love that. of bringing that tour back around and bringing those materials back around as a, hey, thanks again. Don't forget, here's the tour of your home. Well, while we wrap up here, I just have a couple more questions for you. So in your opinion, what do you believe is the best part about working with Virtuance?
The ease of scheduling, getting the photographs back in a timely manner is great. The quality of work is fantastic. And the ease of which everything ties together. And I really enjoy the reports that I get, the tours that have the links in them that I can share. It really makes a difference in the results that I can achieve for my clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So my final question, what would you tell, say there's a professional on your team and they haven't used Virtuance yet. How would you convince them to use Virtuance?
In our mentoring program, we recommend them begin using professional photography, and we introduce them early in the process. Because I've learned that, early in my career, I don't need to be doing this stuff. And the cost up front for it is absolutely worth it. And so to convince somebody to use Virtuance is quite simple. I simply show them the report's quality and what it looks like. And why I do this is for the three different markets. I mentioned two. Of course, there's the consumer. And of course, there's the secondary market. That is the people in the neighborhoods that are not thinking of selling, but right now, but could be later. The third market is the customer themselves, creating that experience so that they can feel confident in recommending and referring me to somebody that they know that will be selling, saying, look what they did for me. And if that's the case, they would be able to share that link and see the type of marketing that we provide them. So there's actually three parts. And so when I'm convincing somebody and persuading and influencing them to use Virtuance, it's the three market. There's three markets that you're talking about in professional photography with Virtuance.
Love all of that. You've got so many great points that you've made in just such a short period of time. So
Thank you.
I just thank you so much again for your time. I know as a brokerage owner, you're super busy. You've got lots of things and hats you're balancing. So I appreciate you just giving me the last like 15, 20 minutes or so to chat with me on this. So with that, do you have any final words?
It's time to level up.
Yes.
It's time to level up. People use Virtuance.
I love that. I'm going to use that as one of the social media snippets. Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Todd. Like I said, I can't express enough how much I appreciate your time.